Hey everybody, World's Biggest Geek here. My name is Kevin. Back in another video here today. And I just finished the season finale of Percy Jackson's season 2. And my goodness, guys, it was the best, craziest show of all times. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It is probably one of my favorite fantasy shows of all time, honoring the great legacy of Percy Jackson, knowing that it talks about the Greek gods and demigods, Camp Half-Blood, all these beings, coming together, knowing that all these incredible adventures and stories, the children relate to these gods and, what they have been known to protect in this world, these creatures and monsters. I just say I enjoyed this entire ride of season 2. It blew me away. And of course, season 3 comes out this year. So I'm so excited. Like I said, if season 3 comes out this December, we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 3 and Avengers Doomsday. So that's going to be really cool. Like I said, this has been the most incredible show. I'm glad Disney brought it back to honor one of the best, coolest shows of all times. So I'm excited. It truly was the most remarkable ride of season 2. So let's get into it, everyone. So of course, season 2 takes place right after season 1 because when Percy and Luke had their first encounter at camp, knowing that Luke was responsible for the lightning bolt and, knowing that he was going to Tartarus to find his mother, and knowing that Luke hid the lightning bolt in one of his bags because it was drawing towards Kronos and Tartarus. So now, of course, Percy did free his mother from Tartarus, and but then knowing that Luke was responsible for this entire war, knowing that the gods have been furious and angry, and of course, Percy confronts Zeus in the finale, and as Zeus was about to zap him, his brother holds back, says, I surrender, I give up. He's like, what? I surrender, I give up. The war is over. Let's call it off. I'm sorry for everything. And then, of course, Percy's like, you weren't there for me. Like he's like, sorry, as a god, I'm always gonna be busy. But I do hear you. Even in like the first season, like his mom, when he was a kid, his mom lit a match, put it in water, and the whole diner froze. And of course, Percy's mother was talking to Poseidon, saying you could talk to him if you want. It's like, when he gets older, I'll speak to him. And now, that, brings us to season 2, where we get introduced to Tyson, his brother, which I think Tyson was the best character in this entire show. There's another son of Poseidon, Percy's brother, who had his back. And I have to say, he is the most incredible character. He is a Cyclops who can fix anything. He's super smart. He's intelligent. I was like, Tyson's like the best character in this show. So, of course, as they go to camp, they get attacked by these fiery monsters that throw fireballs. And, of course, Tyson, who can't come in because he's a Cyclops. And then Annabeth, with the permission, saying, I, Annabeth, or I, Luke, give you permission to cross the barrier because monsters cannot cross, only demigods and half-bloods can enter the camp. So, of course, on top of Tyson, you see Poseidon's trident, and knowing that he is related to Percy Jackson himself. And now we come to, where we learn about this, that Luke is responsible, so he stabs the tree. And, of course, that was Talia, who was protecting the barrier. Learn about a golden fleece that can heal and bring people back to life. So Chiron told Annabeth that, Percy cannot go on this quest because the prophecy says 3 of the eldest children of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon will either be the ones to save Olympus or destroy it. So people are thinking, oh, well, does that mean Percy's going to go bad? Will Percy become destructive? Does Hades have a child? Will Hades' child be introduced in season 3? So, or, is Zeus's daughter, more of a threat? So then, so Clarice goes on this quest, and Annabeth tells her no. Percy wants to go, but, Annabeth says she refuses to say he cannot go because He is a threat. He's part of the three eldest sons. So of course, Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson get in trouble by the camp counselor, and because they broke the law, the camp counselor's like, you can shoot on sight, take them out, don't let them come back to camp anymore. So of course they leave camp, all three of them, and they enter a cruise ship, which I said was really cool to see the cruise ship. It's almost like a Carnival, but different. But on this ship was Luke's personal cruise ship, and there was monsters and creatures on this cruise ship, and now they had to find a way to get past, which all the key cards had Kronos' signature weapon, which only certain people were allowed to pass through certain doors, and they escape knowing that, Luke is on the quest for the fleece as well too, to resurrect Kronos, which Kronos is trying to, get revenge on his sons. He wants to take his sons away for banishing them in Tartarus for what they did. And of course, Percy had dreams about Grover. So in the beginning, Grover finds one of Pan's flutes, and one of Luke's friends, pulls a piece of hair off Grover, knowing that this is the fleece. And this big old tentacle comes out of nowhere and grabs Grover, pulls him into the ocean. And of course, this tentacle brings him to an island who is guarded by a Cyclops who has the golden fleece. And, in one of the episodes, the Cyclops is like, this is my home, my island is like my world. I can do whatever I want. So he has his sheep, his cattle, he has treasures, gold, mountain, big old cave. And of course, Grover had to pretend to be a woman to be a servant. And, because of Grover is not demigod, but he's something else. So a cedar. So that's why Grover had to pretend to be the maid for the Cyclops and, to be on this island. So Percy and Grover had connections in their dreams. So he would wear Grover's clothes, Grover would wear his clothes, and that's how they were connected. So of course, the adventure continues as they go to Circe, who is this sorceress witch who turns people into animals. And of course, she turned Percy into one. Annabeth recognized one of the mouses because the water was spinning, so she knew it was Percy. And of course, Hermes, who is Luke's father, gave him these pills, and they eat the pills and they turn back into humans. So they had these pills in his bag, the winds that can cause like twisters and turns. So of course they leave Circe, which Circe's island is guarded by sirens, which they said in mythology that the sirens would do like, ooh, like they would lower people in, but they would also cast illusions to think you're seeing things that's not real, and they just eat you. So of course, Percy and Annabeth do escape, and they had one of Circe's wax, but Circe took it back. So Annabeth got to confront the sirens, and in long behold of the illusion, she saw her mother, because Annabeth's like, I don't get to talk to my mom like you get to talk to your dad. So even though she got to see her mom, which it wasn't her mom, but it was really cool that Athena appeared in the show to talk to Annabeth, which it wasn't her. And then we meet Clarice, who has her own ship. She has these dead people, zombies, and they go to the Sea of Monsters, which Percy Jackson, Tyson, and Annabeth work with Clarice, and they confront the Sea of Monsters, which it was crazy. They found this gigantic crab monster with tentacles and the big mouth that brings everything down. So they did confrontly made it back to the island, which they meet the Cyclops, but the Cyclops was playing a trick on them because the Cyclops like, it's my fleece, I'm the one that gets to protect it. It's a trap. People get stuck on this island. They don't get to escape. So now they work together, which they found the real fleece, and they escape. And sadly, Annabeth, because she stabbed the Cyclops' ankle, he kicked her, and Annabeth was dead. So Luke was outside. He took one of the portals, and like, give me the fleece, give me the fleece. And Claire's like, no, I must complete my quest. because the oracle told her that, you will sail of stone of iron and bone. So, of course, Percy fights her, gets the fleece, throws to Annabeth, but Luke takes Annabeth and the fleece with him. And then, of course, it brought her Annabeth back, which it was resurrecting Kronos. But, of course, they were trying to escape again to, take the fleece, bring it to Camp Half-Blood. But an honorable Percy wanted Clarice, because it was her quest, to bring the fleece back to camp to revive the tree, heal it, because, the barrier was falling. Monsters, creatures were trying to get through because the barrier protects Camp Half-Blood. So that's why it was Clarice's quest, even though Percy Jackson was on it as well, too. He's like, this is your quest. You must go to camp. And, of course, we come to the conclusion of the final battle where they fight at camp. And I have to say, it was incredible. It was awesome. Clarice finally completed her quest as she took the fleece and a spear, lunged it at the tree. And, of course, the tree was restored, but Talia did come back. But then you learn the story about why Talia was there. So Chiron was a witness, and these the Furies were talking to her, talking about Hades and everything. And of course, Zeus comes to confront his daughter. She's like, I don't want to be your daughter. I never want to be a part of this. And Zeus like, I'm warning you, please. Just you're dangerous. Like, I'm going to go back to camp, get the people I brought. We're leaving. And of course, Zeus confronted his daughter, turned her into a tree. And now you learn that why Zeus had to do it, why Chiron had to lie all those years saying like, oh yeah, Talia sacrificed, but instead Zeus zapped her and turned her into a tree because he refused her she refused his offer because she is one of the eldest of the three. And now, knowing that, you resurrect Talia, which means Kronos might return somewhere down the line for his champion. So maybe Talia was maybe on Kronos' side all his life, and now the Titans will be released. And sadly, Tyson does leave with his father Poseidon to make sure the Titans do not escape, because they're about to escape in this route, in this world. But like I said, guys, incredible season. Well done. Great performance. It blew my mind away. I am so ready for season 3 this year. To honor the great Percy Jackson stories has been truly remarkable. The best fantasy show of this century. I love it. And I'm so excited for season 3. I hope, like I said, we get to see more characters, more gods, more people. Like I said, Percy Jackson has a limited story. So, like I said, let's cross our fingers. Hopefully Disney can give him a 5th season or a 6th season, or maybe an 8th season, which would be really cool to see. But yeah, guys, it was incredible. It was the best show. I loved it. I hope you guys get to check it out. And that is my review for this entire show. So, but you guys have an awesome, happy Wednesday. I'll talk to you guys later. Be fantastic, be dope, be terrific, be the greatest people you are. Love what you love, enjoy your day. And remember, we're all the greatest geeks and people of the entire universe. And we always have each other's backs. For Camp Half-Blood and for protecting the world from the monsters. Bye, everyone.